The fluorescent gymnasium lights flickered, humming softly like the static on a broken television. It was the night of the regional robotics showcase, and the Jefferson High School gym had been transformed into a tech paradise. Dozens of polished robots gleamed under the lights, sleek creations that looked like they had rolled off the assembly lines of major tech companies. They moved gracefully, their smooth whirs and clicks harmonizing with the murmur of proud parents and excited students. At the farthest corner of the room, however, sat a robot that looked different. Its body was a patchwork of parts, an aluminum frame that wasn't quite even, wheels salvaged from an old vacuum cleaner, sensors duct-taped in place. Wires peeked out of its sides like veins exposed to the world. If the other robots were Ferraris, this one was an old pickup truck held together by stubbornness and hope. Its creator, Amira Johnson, sat beside it, her braids pulled into a neat ponytail, her face set with quiet determination. She wore a plain hoodie and jeans, clothes that didn't scream tech prodigy, but rather kid from the neighborhood who built something from nothing. As she tinkered with the robot's sensors, a group of students from Westfield Academy, a private school known for its prestigious robotics program, sauntered by, laughing. "Yo," one of them, a tall boy named Ethan, said loud enough for everyone to hear. "Is that supposed to be a robot? Or is it a pile of scrap metal with wheels?" His friends chuckled. One of the girls, twirling her perfect blonde ponytail, smirked. "Looks like something out of a dumpster." Amira's stomach twisted, but she didn't look up. She adjusted a sensor on her robot, pretending their words rolled right off her. Another boy leaned closer. "Careful, Ethan. Don't laugh too hard. It might fall apart if you breathe on it." The group burst into laughter. Nearby parents glanced over, some smirking, some pitying. Even one of the judges raised an eyebrow. Amira's hand trembled slightly as she tightened a bolt. She whispered softly to her creation, "You're gonna prove them wrong, Phoenix. Just hang in there." But even she felt the sting of doubt creeping in. At 17, Amira was a quiet genius living in a world that didn't seem built for kids like her. She was a senior at Jefferson High, a public school that was constantly underfunded, where textbooks were older than the students. Robotics had been her safe haven, an escape from the weight of expectations and stereotypes. She'd spent the past 6 months building Phoenix, her robot, in their small 2-bedroom apartment, using salvaged parts and whatever she could scavenge from local junkyards. While other teams had access to 3D printers, high-grade aluminum, and expensive coding software, Amira worked with what she had. And yet, Phoenix wasn't just a robot. It was special. It could navigate uneven terrain, detect obstacles, and lift objects heavier than itself. Its AI system wasn't flashy, but it was efficient. Still, sitting here under the fluorescent lights, surrounded by polished, perfect robots, Amira couldn't shake the gnawing thought. What if they're right? What if this is just scrap metal on wheels? Amira's journey into robotics began when she was 9 years old. Her father, Adams Thompson, was an auto mechanic who had a gift for fixing anything with an engine. She would sit on his lap in their garage as he worked, handing him tools, asking questions. "What's that for, Daddy?" she'd ask, watching him tighten bolts. "This?" he'd smile, wiping sweat from his brow. "This is a torque wrench. Tells you how tight you're making a bolt. If you over-tighten it, you'll strip it. Just like life, baby girl. You gotta know the right pressure to use." Those were some of her happiest memories. But when she was 10, Adams was killed in a car accident on his way home from work. The world seemed to crumble overnight. Her mother, Vanessa, took on 2 jobs, cleaning offices at night and working at a diner by day, to make ends meet. Amira found solace in machines. She began taking apart old appliances, fascinated by their inner workings. She rebuilt a broken toy robot she found in a dumpster, making it walk again. At 12, Vanessa scraped together enough money to buy Amira a used laptop. "I know it's not new," Vanessa had said, handing her the scratched-up device. "But I know you'll make something amazing with it." And she did. She taught herself coding through free online tutorials. By high school, she was miles ahead of her peers. Still, she was an outsider in the Jefferson High Robotics Club. The club was dominated by kids from wealthier families, kids who could afford expensive kits and private tutoring. Amira's thrift store clothes and secondhand parts didn't exactly fit the image. One teacher had even told her once, "Maybe you should try something else, Amira. Robotics is competitive, expensive. Maybe focus on something more realistic." But Amira wasn't wired to give up. She poured every spare moment into Phoenix, working late into the night while her mom worked double shifts. The robotics showcase was supposed to be her big break. Winning or even placing could land her a scholarship. But so far, the day had been a nightmare. When it was finally her turn to present, Amira's heart pounded. She wheeled Phoenix to the center of the demonstration floor. "Please demonstrate its capabilities," one of the judges said, clipboard in hand. Amira knelt down, activating Phoenix. "Initializing," the robot's soft, synthetic voice said as its camera sensors flickered to life. She entered a series of commands. Phoenix scanned the room, then navigated toward a heavy block placed on the floor. It extended its mechanical arm, gripping the block and lifting it with surprising ease. A murmur of approval rippled through the crowd. The judges scribbled notes. "Not bad," one judge said. But before she could continue, Ethan from Westfield stepped forward, smirking. "Careful, wouldn't want it to." He gave Phoenix a nudge with his foot. "Hey!" Amira snapped. The robot wobbled but didn't fall. Ethan grinned. "Relax, it's just a toy." A sharp pang of anger surged through Amira. Phoenix wasn't a toy. It was everything. The judges didn't seem to notice the altercation. They nodded politely, thanked her, and moved on. Amira stood frozen, blinking back tears. She didn't win. She didn't even place. That night, she walked home carrying Phoenix in her arms. Her mother met her at the door. "How'd it go, baby?" Vanessa asked softly. Amira forced a smile. "It was fine." But Vanessa saw through it. She hugged her daughter tightly. "You're amazing. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise." 2 days later, Amira sat in her robotics class, quietly sketching new designs for Phoenix, when her teacher, Mr. Jensen, burst in. His usually calm demeanor was replaced with wide-eyed shock. "Amira," he said breathlessly, "NASA just called. They want to talk to you." The classroom went silent. Amira blinked. "Wait, what?" "They saw footage of Phoenix from the showcase. Someone uploaded your presentation online. NASA wants you to present it to their team." Amira's heart stopped. NASA? The following month was a blur. NASA flew Amira and her mom to their research center. Vanessa cried when she saw the invitation letter. "Your daddy would be so proud," she whispered, kissing Amira's forehead. At NASA headquarters, Amira stood in front of some of the brightest minds in the world. Engineers, scientists, and programmers gathered as she demonstrated Phoenix's disaster navigation system. "Watch this," she said, her voice trembling but steady. She input a command, and Phoenix navigated a simulated disaster zone, detecting obstacles and locating a survivor in record time. The engineers exchanged impressed glances. "Your algorithm is brilliant," one of them said. "Do you realize how cost-effective this design is?" By the end of the presentation, NASA offered her a scholarship and an internship. News of Amira's success spread like wildfire. Headlines read, "Teen's scrap-built robot impresses NASA." The same students who mocked her now awkwardly congratulated her in the hallway. Even Ethan avoided her gaze. Amira didn't care about their opinions anymore. She had bigger dreams. At home, Vanessa hung the NASA letter on the fridge. "Look at what my baby did," she told anyone who would listen. Amira's journey became a symbol of resilience. In a later interview, she said, "People laughed at me. They called my robot trash. But I believed in it because I believed in myself. And sometimes, the thing people laugh at is the thing that changes your life." She smiled softly. Phoenix was built from scraps, but it rose. So to anyone watching this, don't let anyone's laughter silence your dreams. If this story inspired you, hit that like button, Share this video with someone who needs hope, and subscribe for more stories of resilience. Because sometimes all it takes is one spark, and a girl with a dream